A girl's mother is on her deathbed, but she does not want her mother to die and she wishes for the time to stop, and it ends up working. She, however, gets stuck in a time loop. Let's see how she deals with it. Welcome to Movie Recall. In today's video, we will be going through the 2021 romance fantasy film The Map of Tiny Perfect Things. It's time to recall. Let's get started. Turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. The movie starts and Mark wakes up when everybody is having breakfast. He says good morning to his dad and his sister Emma. Mark echoes everything they say. He knows what things are going to happen in his day, so he does everything perfectly. He then rides in the town. There, he asks a stranger to stop using his cell phone while driving, and when an old man is looking for his keys, he tells him that they are in his bag. He hops up in a truck, then tells a woman directions without even asking her where she has to go. Mark goes to a library. There is some construction going on, and after the workers go for lunch, he takes their bulldozer for a ride and then goes on to tell everyone that he won the lottery at a diner. In the afternoon, he finds himself chilling by the community pool. There, he spots the girl he helped earlier. Her name is Phoebe. He grabs her arm while she is about to fall into the pool. They get to talk, and Mark ends up walking her home. Mark asks her if she can hang out later, but she refuses. After that, Mark goes to see Henry. He is playing a video game, and after his character dies and respawns, Mark says, "What if that started to happen in real life? How would life be like?" Mark thinks about using the time loop ability forever. Henry, however, thinks about getting girls while using this ability. Mark says that it is not as easy as it sounds. He says he has failed so many times to get Phoebe's attention. Mark then says that with many possibilities come many failures as well, and this is what he has been facing with Phoebe. Mark then questions if he wants to get out of the loop since he would be the center of the universe. Henry tells him that it would get boring and repetitive. Mark waits until midnight and he is back on the same day. Everything happens the same way as it happened yesterday. However, in order to impress the girl, he this time practices playing the tuba and drawing before he goes to the community pool. It does not, however, go according to plan, as when the ball is about to hit Phoebe, another girl appears and catches the ball, so Phoebe does not fall into the pool, so Mark does not get to save her. When Mark goes to see Henry, he thinks about the blonde girl he saw at the pool. When the girl is about to leave the pool, she drops the flyer for a missing dog. Mark tries the phone number, and the man on the phone tells him that he just has an 8-year-old daughter. Mark tries to find the girl, but to no avail. One day, Mark is at a diner, and there he notices someone leaving a $100 tip. He follows the girl, thinking that it's the one from the pool. He catches up to her. The girl's name is Margaret. She tells Mark that she is also stuck in a time loop. Mark is relieved when he gets to know that he is not the only one. Upon being asked what she has been doing during the time loop, the girl says that she has been trying to learn to drive. Mark, however, tells her that he is trying to save the world, to which Margaret tells him that he should not have such high goals. As Margaret is about to leave, Mark shows her how a dog steals a man's phone. They sit together, and Mark shows her many humorous things before she tells him that she has to leave. Mark then asks for her phone number, saying that they should keep in touch as they are the only ones going through this. Mark starts trying out different things. He tries many hairstyles, and he sends Margaret his pictures, but she does not respond. Mark eventually asks her to meet up. She agrees, and they meet up. Mark then asks her how her life has been going on with the time loop. He then goes on to ask her what's the craziest thing she has done during the time loop, and she goes on to show him how she drives. While they are in the car, Margaret tells him that she wants to be an aerospace engineer at NASA. She goes on to reveal that she actually stole the car. She drives to the woods and takes Mark to a lake. They see a bird trying to catch a fish, and Margaret recounts that she saw it for the first time when she was looking for the missing dog. She then receives a call, and they leave. After she drops Mark home, then she again receives a phone call from a person named Jared and tells him that she will be there. Mark, on the other hand, draws a Sisyphus inspired by his and Margaret's earlier conversation. It is midnight, he leaps off the roof, and there he goes. The day repeats. He again meets up with Margaret and takes her to a place where people are skating. A young girl joins in and the others laugh at her. This is when she does the trick everyone has been trying to do, but they have not been successful, and surprises everyone. Then they get on a road roller and Margaret drives. Mark asks her about Jared, and she tells him that he is a 21-year-old medical student and adds nothing more to it. They then talk about the time loop they have been in and come up with their own theories about it. Mark wonders if it is about appreciating all the perfect random moments like seeing the bird catching the fish. Margaret is then about to leave, and Mark challenges her to find all the perfect random things that happen in their town that day. Margaret, however, does not seem too enthused as she just wants to get through the day. Mark, however, goes on to say that they can make their situation meaningful, and this makes Margaret stay. Mark likes to spend time with her. This is why whenever she is about to leave, he says something that makes her stay. They go to a store, and Margaret wonders about the fourth dimension and ends up saying that they are shadows of fourth-dimensional people. She goes on to tell Mark that she thinks they can reach everything in the fourth dimension. Then they start talking about finding the perfect things in the town. They decide that they are going to look for them and list them down. In the next few loops, they go around town and find small moments like traffic getting stopped when a turtle crosses the road and a couple of old men and women playing chess. A pair of wings are painted on a van, and when the van stops, they position perfectly on a man. They then see a construction worker playing the piano beautifully. After that, Margaret tells Mark that she cannot hang out with someone who does not understand logarithmic functions, and then she goes on to make him study algebra. They then go out, and Margaret's phone starts to ring and she ignores it. She tells Mark that she at times wishes that the time loop never ends. Margaret then leaves. Mark insists that she can skip meeting Jared for one day, but she does not listen and disappears. Mark goes home and his dad comes to him to talk about his future. Mark jokes about wanting to become a priest or joining the Space Force. Mark then goes on to show his dad a dragon tattoo, and the day repeats. The first thing that Mark does that day is search for Jared on the internet. Then he goes on to share his feelings for Margaret with Henry and adds that he is really disappointed as she leaves him at 6 p.m. in the evening and it happens every day. Henry tells Mark to make the girl think that he genuinely has a connection with her. One day, he takes Margaret to a school gym where he has set up a space station and a moon. They spend the day together pretending to be astronauts. Mark thinks about sharing his feelings with Margaret, but he does not get on with it and ends up telling her to ride his bike around the school, pretending to head back to Earth. They then go back to Mark's house and they talk about how they wake up every morning at the same time and in the same bed. As they walk around the house, Margaret looks at the family photos and Mark tells her that her mother works late and his dad, on the other hand, quit his job to write a book about the Civil War. When Mark asks Margaret about her parents, she does not answer it directly and dodges the question. Mark then goes to the bathroom, and in the meantime, Margaret looks at the map he has made of the perfect things. When Mark comes out of the bathroom and finds Margaret looking at the map, he feels embarrassed and tells her that he redraws the map every morning. Margaret, however, is amused by his work. She compliments him and encourages him to go to an art school. Mark then tells her that he has been trying to find a pattern in hopes of finding something that would help him make sense of what has been going on with them. After that, Mark gets close to Margaret to kiss her, but she stops him, saying that she just wants to be friends with him. She then starts to get ready to leave. Mark gets upset and asks her to tell him what's going on between her and Jared, but Margaret refuses to say anything, adding that she does not want to mess things up. Mark is heartbroken and waits for midnight. The next morning when he wakes up, he for the first time asks his dad about his mom. He goes to see Henry and tells him about his situation with Margaret. Henry says that he is confused about what has been going on with his friend. Mark is extremely frustrated. He says that he had hoped after so many repetitions he would be able to get it right, but it has not happened. Mark tries to avoid his dad that night, but he corners him and starts to talk about Mark's future. Mark says he has no future because he's stuck in a time loop. Mark calls his dad hypocritical for chasing his own dreams while thwarting Mark's. After talking to his sister Emma, Mark learns their dad didn't quit his job but was fired and was too ashamed to reveal it. He asks his sister about her soccer game and she tells him that they lost the game. The next day, when he meets Margaret, they both agree that they are tired of looking for perfect things and that Mark is sick of trying to find meaning in everything. Mark seems extremely frustrated, so Margaret takes him to a show house where they smash things, taking out their frustration. Mark then shares with Margaret that they can escape the time loop if they get far away from the town. They buy tickets to Tokyo, and when they are on the plane, Mark says that they will finally get to see it tomorrow. He then wears an eye mask, and when he takes it off, Margaret has already left the plane before takeoff. When the plane crosses the international date line, Mark wakes up in his bedroom, realizing the plan didn't work. He decides to focus on others in the next loop. He invites his father to tell him about the Civil War and attends Emma's soccer game where she scores a goal that she did not score in the loops when he was not there. Mark slips a winning lottery ticket to a woman in the diner. He then uses the bulldozer to rescue a cat. He joins the elderly couple who is playing chess and then applauses the construction worker for playing the piano. He also starts to do well in school and practices music with his sister. He then tries skating, which does not turn out to be a good idea as he ends up breaking his wrist. He is then taken to the hospital. There, he sees Margaret visiting her mother, who is dying of cancer. Mark realizes that he isn't the center of this story, but rather Margaret is. He also finds out that Jared is the medical student looking after her mother. He then goes to see Henry, and while they play the video game, he talks about the time loop and Henry does not take it seriously. Margaret, on the other hand, wakes up and goes to her mother. She tells her that she messed up her relationship with Mark, and her mother tells her that it's still not too late. Margaret then goes out and finds the lost dog she has been searching for. She then has a conversation with Mark's friend Henry, whom Mark has repeatedly confided in about the time loop. After helping Henry win his video game, Margaret has an epiphany. She creates a three-dimensional model of the times and places of the perfect moments using string. The shadow cast by the model creates an image of a four-dimensional cube with a single vertex missing. She determines that the final event will occur at 7 p.m. at the pool. Margaret goes to see her mother early that morning and cries as she tells her that if the time loop ends, she will lose her forever. Her mother, however, asks her to go where life takes her, as this is the universal rule and we cannot change it. When it is about to be 7 p.m., she goes to the community pool and Mark is already there. She explains that she is responsible for the time loop. It was the last day her mother is alive, and she was not willing to move past it, but she now believes that Mark was caught up in the loop in order to allow her to move on with someone. She then pulls Mark closer and kisses him, creating the final perfect moment. Margaret goes to the hospital and says goodbye to her mother for a final time. She and Mark go outside. At midnight, it begins to rain, signaling that the loop has been broken. The next morning, they finally return the missing dog. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon for new movie recaps.